Look in your heart and I can see a love so dangerously. But you're not trusting your heart to anyone. You touch me and suddenly you know. Child, that's I just done messed up all of the words to that song. To the fire, to whatever comes what may. For a chance at loving you, I gladly all away. And right back through the wire, even through the fire. How y'all doing? I feel like that we done been through a little bit of a slight fire ourselves the whole week. And when it's always gonna be something good because the devil won't let you get it out just the way that you want to get it out. Now the whole day I've been acting crazy, singing and acting a complete fool, and my vocal cords was good. I get here tonight, try to take and sing a little like something for y'all tonight, and I'm sitting up here looking like a fool, baby. No, these are not prescriptions, y'all. I'm trying out the whole blue glasses to take away from the glare that's on the screen and everything. So, that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm trying these out to see if it's gonna make a difference in, not having headaches and stuff like that, because they say they're supposed to work. So we just gonna run on and see what the end's gonna be. But I hope y'all are excited. I hope y'all are ready to go. I hope y'all are ready to do this because we are about to do this. Because I have some panelists that's coming on here is about to get ready to show y'all some knowledge. We're going to be talking about generational wealth, ways to create generational wealth, investing in the Black community, because we are a community, we are an entity of our own, in some ways that we can learn how to keep that money flowing within the Black hand so that we are building an epicenter ourselves, basically investing in our own community and investing in you. The most important thing is investing in you, because if you don't take the time to invest in you, ain't nobody else will. So those are some key things that we're going to take and we're going to touch bases on this evening. But until then, the Divine Zone starts now, featuring the conference. If you're new to my channel, thank you for coming through. Like, share, subscribe, because we have some amazing things that goes on over here. I got some different creators that are going to be coming through from different genres, and they're going to come through and they're going to drop some knowledge and hopefully help you make some good decisions or some better decisions than what you've made in the past on financial. We all can stand a little chastising on spot financials. You seen that Rolex and you should not have bought that Rolex right now. You should have waited a little bit. But we're gonna be talking a little bit about everything. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna get some peoples in here that knows they stuff. I have the esteemed pleasure to introduce to you all. She was on the show on Tuesday with the Chat with Divine. If y'all missed that, baby, I missed a whole bunch right there. She came through, she spitted some knowledge on us on that Tuesday. And she's coming from all the way from New York, Long Island, by the way of Picola, Florida. She is the chocolate drop that don't stop, baby. She's the one and only Miss Golden Onassis. Hey, y'all, welcome her. Hey, girl, hey. You muted your mic.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
I had to do it. Motherhood never stops.
Yes. What my nephew said.
He was trying to weasel out $50. He's like, "Oh, good, you're doing this. Can I get 50? No, no,
Oh, he tried it and you was already no. We good to go.
we're good."
Right. So another one of my guest speakers that are coming in by the way of Cali, by the way of don't call and ask me no crazy questions because I'm still that girl from the block. You know, she is the one and only, the educated, the Mephistomated, the one and only, and she is the owner of Classic Cocktails. So if y'all in the Cali area, y'all want her to be doing some the like something something and get y'all the ring ding 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 all together, baby. She got you. The one and only Miss Nivea. What's going on, girl?
Hello.
Yes, I came through in that other bedroom in the other house, baby. Yes, come on, mother-in-law sweets. Mm. And to round this all up, I got to have. Well, I guess not. I guess we gonna start, and then the other person gonna come back in a minute. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. We're gonna travel on right on in here. I'm going to pause for a second, and I like for each and every one of y'all to introduce yourselves and give a smidget of your background if you would like to. If not, you don't have to. But this is geared towards more my entrepreneurs, and if y'all want to share a little like something something, y'all can share a little like something something. If not, I do understand. But the floor is yours. Who would like to start? Golden, Nivea.
I'm Nivea. I am a tax accountant by day. As Ms. Jasmine said, I also bartend. I have my own mobile bartending service company, as well as on Mondays, I do short videos on money management and some financial planning.
Cool beans, Miss Golden.
Well, I've been an administrator now for 18 years. Moved into private sector and purchased my own business. Um, and that's pretty much what I've been doing so far. So I'm just a local business owner.
So when is Golden Onassis coming through? We want to know about the show. Can you enlighten us a little light something something about that,
Uh,
or
is
you don't want to share yet?
that nope, I have a date. It's going to be the 30th of this month. So that is my launch date. So conversations with Golden Onassis will be launching on the 30th of this month.
Okay. Well, speaking of someone that just been in y'all shoes, literally getting y'all's YouTube channels and stuff up off of the ground, the one and only Lily's in the building with us, and the owner of PastaSugar.com, which
Hello,
is a
hello.
queer, gender free, gender neutral. Go in and help you get all your just together for whatever sexes that you
Um,
want to be, or if you non-binary, baby, we got you covered on that. So, Lily, there you go.
yes, well, thank you for the entry, Miss Jasmine Divine, and thank you for having me. As Miss Divine said, I am Miss Mix Leander Lily Alexander. I am the CEO and founder of Pass the Sugar, what is a gender queer boutique and styling service provider, where I am the lead stylist. So what I do is I look at people's wardrobes, help them do outfits. I also do special events, so photo shoots, things like that. And all of my services are also virtual as well. So I do that. And like Jasmine said, I have stepped into the influencer slash content creator business. So yeah, I'm out here doing it, trying to be like y'all.
Yes, my God, today. So, without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and let's jump right on into this. The first topic, if y'all don't mind me going into, I would like to discuss and talk about just basic some of the basic financial um pros and cons. And I think Nivea, you have actually took and touched on that on your Instagram and then on your YouTube channel also. Speaking of, we pay everybody else, but we don't pay ourselves heading into, learning how to first start generational wealth. So Nivea, if you would go from there, and then from there, Miss Golden, if you will pick it up from there, if you don't mind, please.
So the basics or just starting a foundation when it comes to money. A lot of us aren't necessarily taught the budget. We're taught how to pay bills and to pay them on time, but we're not taught how to budget. So, like you said in some of my other videos, in the very beginning when I started this, my whole premise behind it was that I saw that there, regardless to what the news says and what people say, there was a big transit, a wealth transition during this pandemic. Like a lot of businesses were created. There was a lot of money circulating, right? For some people, rightfully so. For some people, not so much. But my thought pattern is, regardless of how you got the money, this was a perfect opportunity to take, let's say, dirty money, quote unquote, and clean it, for lack of a better way to put it. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let me back up. As I said before, we're taught how to pay bills, but not necessarily how to budget. And so within creating the budget, one of the first people you need to pay is yourself, because you're getting up, you're going to work every day. So treat yourself with that. Like, put that money up for a future fund. I know some people pay or give a percentage to their creator. And I say it in that way because I don't want to offend anybody. Like, you pay the church, you pay your bills, but you also have to factor yourself into that. Otherwise, the daily grind, the every day of getting up and go to work, you'll be like, what's the point? Because I want to do more than work just to pay bills. And so paying yourself first will make those days a little bit better when it's kind of grueling. So, yeah.
Golden, anything to piggyback off that with?
Um, a budget is a necessity. And also not living above your means. I know that we all have wants and desires and feel that we deserve and are deserving, but there's a time and a place for that.
Mm-hmm.
So once you stick to your budget, I would say live within your means. Look at what you bring in monthly, sit down and have a real conversation. And that's always my thing. First, you have to know yourself and understand that people pleasing and keeping up with the trends, if you cannot afford it, will be a season. You want to be able to keep yourself in a lifestyle. So what you want to do is set your foundation, where you will have the things that you want. Need is, so we always need to cover need, but the wants is what gets us. So
So before
control your want.
let me step in for just a second. Before you say that, can you expound a little bit more on the difference between the needs and the wants? Because and then um yeah, can you just expound on that a little bit more? Because some people get that confused with, if the Joneses got such and such, I've got to have such and you know what I'm saying? So can you expound on that a little bit
Um,
and break it down like even easier for like just the layman's term, super simple?
Meaning, if let's just say when I first got started, I'll just use myself for an example. I was addicted to shoes. Sneakers to be exact. I love sneakers. I needed the newest sneakers that were coming out. I'm on every list. I'm standing on every line to get them. Now, in the beginning, when I was working 60 hours, um, I really couldn't afford them. I couldn't. And I knew I couldn't afford them, but that doesn't stop me from wanting them. So
Mm-hmm.
I would do stupid things like work triples and just to make it so I can have something that I can't really enjoy because I'm working triples. And so the one time that I do get to go out, it always rained. That's a whole nother story. After I broke my neck to get them, I'm walking around with plastic on. So I would just say you need to balance what you want and your budget, and also what you want in life. Those triples took away time from my family. Those triples took time away that I could have been using to better myself. But I'm in the pursuit of materialistic goods that are literally seasonal or can be ruined by rain. And
Mm.
I'm wasting my life in reference to getting them. So I would say the most important thing is to ground oneself, live within your means, and make realistic goals and stop trying to chase what everybody else has. Yes, we like luxury. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with splurging once in a while. But, that's my number one tip to keep the money in the bank.
So Nivea, let me ask you this one because I was just gonna get rid of that. I know you about to get into it. So
Okay.
and then I'm gonna be quiet. Nivea, when we were saying when you were expounding on the budget and everything like that, so do just a hypothetical like like how would you assume taking a person that's not knowing anything about how to do a budget, would you break that down, like simplify it so a person could be able, and again, for Nivea, you can go to her channel, she's broken all this down to begin with, but this is something that's good to take and expound on, and then from there we're going to hear from Lily. Go ahead.
So, two things, if it's okay. The first one is just to piggyback off what Golden said. If we take it a step further, like in most cities, you need a car, right? A car is a necessity. But you have people who are too prideful to go to an auction or to a tow yard and pay cash for a reliable car, and instead they overextend themselves for a better looking car with a car note. Like my first car, I bought from a tow yard for $1,500. Now, I mean, some of y'all are privy to the current lifestyle that I live, but I still live within my means. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
in January, my car was totaled. I had the opportunity to buy a new car that had a car note. I said, no, I'm gonna go right here to this dealer. I'm gonna pay cash for this other car. It's still a nice car. It's a Ford Flex. You know what I mean? But
I love
anyway,
those.
we can go back to that. But as far as setting a budget, what dealing with money, it requires discipline. So what I would recommend for anyone that is trying to start a budget for 30 days straight, keep track of not only your bills that you have to pay every month, but everything that you're spending money on. Every time you swipe your card or you pull out cash for something, write it down in a notebook, or most people don't use paper and pen anymore. Put it in your notes in your phone so that you can get an idea of where your money is going every month. And then once
Mm-hmm.
you have anywhere from 2 weeks to 30 days worth of those details and transactions, then actually sit down and say, okay, which of these bills are actually necessities like gas, PG&E, food, things like that, and then figure out what are those things are. Or they're not a necessity, more of a want, or it was an impulse buy because you felt sad or you just wanted it. Like decide, put those things into different categories, and then create your budget based on. Of course, you have to cover all of your necessities, and then give yourself a little bit of wiggle room to like treat yourself, but don't go overboard. You know what I mean? So you factor your those things into your budget, but you also have to factor in paying yourself in that budget. And I understand like in the beginning it's gonna be kind of hard to reel that in, but when you pay yourself, part of that needs to go into a savings, and then you also have to work on giving yourself allowance. Like for example, my husband gives himself an allowance every month. Out of his allowance, that's where he gets his hair cut. That's where if he sees a pair of shoes that he likes, it has to come out of that. And once that's gone for that particular pay period, he's like, nope, I can't get nothing else. I can't. Even date nights come out of his allowance. So you know what I mean? So you have to factor all of that in. Start small. Reeling yourself in if you've been out of control for a long time. In one of my examples, I said doing something as simple as paying yourself $10 out of every check, and then build your way up, because as you start to see your savings grow and your allowance grow and having money spent over, that's going to give you more motivation to keep doing the right thing. I hope I
Mm-hmm.
was able to answer your question.
I appreciate that because, and then I'm gonna be quiet and let Lily talk. Like I had took that whenever I had first heard you say that, and what I've been doing is what when you first was giving the tip, say, hey, I'm gonna start off $10 this week. Next week I'm gonna increase it to 15. Next week after that I'm gonna increase it to 20. You know what I'm saying? Until
Yeah.
I build to where I feel that I want to be at, and then I was riding in the car and I was talking to Golden, and I've never done the stock market thing. And she showed me that was my very first time ever getting into the whole stock market with the Bitcoins or Big Turn or
Hmm.
however you say it. Like I got into that and I'm like, me
Yeah.
being the first time and never having anyone to show me something like that, it was a aha moment for me because as little as $5, I'm in the game now. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I had to put thousands of dollars in there. Little as $5, I'm in the game now, and I'm letting it ride out, and whatever it's gonna do, it's gonna do. I'm letting it ride out. I ain't touching it. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So that's some things that we as a community we're not privy to that, or we don't take the time to educate each other on. you
Yeah.
know. So I'm appreciative of it, and I'm gonna be quiet. Like I said, I ain't gonna take over. I'm gonna be quiet.
One
I'm
real
sharing.
quick thing, and I don't know if we're going to go into it later, but with the way that tech is now, it's so much easier for us to get into the market. There's apps like Stash, Acorn, Robinhood, where it's like what it'll do is sometimes it'll do something small as taking the cents from a transaction, putting it over, and then once you have like $5 or $10, then it'll put it into a stock for you. So there's a lot of different things out there that we can tap into that we didn't have access to before. That makes it a lot easier for us to invest. And I'm done.
Right, Lily.
Well, one of the things I really want to speak on, because Golden and Nivea have given such great just financial advice, but one of the things I also think, and they both all of you actually spoke on it, is there's a mindset that goes with this, right? Especially if you're thinking about stepping into the entrepreneurial world, because I feel like in today's society, we look at social media and we see all these entrepreneurs and they're just like, oh, they got these fast cars, expensive cars, the big houses, stuff like that. Everything's going good. Oh, I don't need that 9 to 5. Or there's this talk down to the 9 to 5. Understand that as an entrepreneur, you'll still be running the business while doing the 9 to 5 or that five, whatever it is. But understanding, like both everyone has said, what are your future goals? What are your goals? Because once you have your goals defined, that's where you can start the plans how to get there. It's all about budgeting. It's all about, like you said, paying yourself, and then from there, you want to work on that increase. So it literally, like, if you're paying yourself, you're thinking like, well, I want more money. You're the boss. You can give yourself a raise. So then the question becomes, well, what do I got to do to get that raise? That's when that mind starts going. That's at least what happened to me, because I started with Path to Sugar. It started with just I want a little side hustle to bring in some extra money. From there, it expanded to like, oh wait, this could actually become something I could just do full time. And then from there, I'm still learning how I can still branch out. Because one of my goals is personally is to have 7 to 10 streams of income coming in at all times.
And see, I get where you're coming from with that. Like, my thing is that, to pick out back off what everybody said, instead of trying to set up these humongous goals, set yourself with 3 months goals. Every 3 months, have something checked off and accomplished. If it's starting your own business, 3 months from the start date that you said that you want to get started at, 3 months prior to that, have your business plan corrected. Have your business plans whatever licensings that you have to work on. Start working on that. So if you say this time next year, so you have a full year to get this together. Break that down into 3 months because it's easier to achieve, especially even if you have to take it month to month to month. This month, I need to have my business plan and proposal written. Next month, I need to finish up going to the bank to do such and such. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier to take in to do smaller goals versus you having this huge, humongous goal set in front of you and you don't feel like it's achievable. And I do feel like a lot of times that we as a community, we don't sit back and we don't take the smaller steps versus trying to take a whole big leap. You know, Golden expressed it super easy. You working them extra triples and triples and triples, but you're not doing anything. You miss not only on quality time, you breaking down your own body faster. And then God forbid, but rain happens, and then you done missed the damn $300 pair of sneakers that you started, that you done did the triple for. So you right back pissed off and mad and right back at square one all
And I
over
have
again.
been there before. Lord have
You know
mercy.
what I'm saying? So I mean, then that leads a segue for me into investing into not only into self. Self has got to come in there somewhere. So what is your definition of investing in self besides the money part? Because we all are, hey, let's do money, this, that, and the third. But what about the spiritual? What about, finding something that relaxes you? That could be laying up and watching the current movie of Waka Flocka, and that's relaxing to you. What do you do to take the edge off for yourself? Do you drink? Do you not, do you light you one up? Do you hang out with your significant other? Do you go and read? Like, what do you do to invest into self, to so that self can grow to where self needs to be? But before we do that, hi Instagram. You know I love y'all so very much. But unfortunately, this part of the show, come on over to YouTube and y'all can catch the rest of it on YouTube. I've given y'all 30 minutes like I normally do, but come on over to YouTube. That's / Jazmine Divine and catch the rest of the show because this is a very good conversation. All right, y'all. Y'all have an amazing evening. Thank you, YouTube. I mean, Instagram. Thank you. Okay. So we're back. All right. What's to go up first? I'm sorry. I just had to get Instagram together right quick.
What I will add to everything that you just said and we've all said is that when you decide to venture off into something new, find the people that, whether it be for business or just life or whatever, personal, whatever, you need to kind of find the people that have your answer and not your problem. So when I started to go into the bartending business, I seen a few people that I found on Instagram and I was like, hey, can I have an hour of your time to see how you started the business? And then it wasn't on no like, can you do it for free? I was like, I'll pay you for your time. I'll cash up you for your time. You know what I mean? Because what I got from that person was things that I would have never thought about when I was getting ready to start the business, like little details about how to get my business name, how different things that I should purchase to make traveling from one location to the next location easier. Those are things that I would have had to learn as I was going. But by being able to link up with someone who had my answer, that just saved me that much more time and money.
So do you feel like, in a sense, that the old saying, "Each one teach one," that we should be
Yeah,
able to give back in a sense?
I 100% believe in each one teach one. Like that was another reason why I kind of went into starting my YouTube channel because while it so most of the stuff that I do came naturally for me, I started to learn just by the different questions my friends were asking me when it came to like money management and accounting and things like that, that it's not I guess like I said, certain things aren't taught and certain things are just natural for people. So yeah, each one should teach one.
Golden.
I do believe in mentoring. I do believe in giving back, but I do believe in doing that in moderation. Um, there's a lot of information and there's a lot of things that are changing. I am, like I said, I went through the private sector in healthcare and move forward. So when someone asks me about my business, there's certain avenues that I wouldn't even have someone venture into as of right now because it's just not lucrative.
Hmm.
So I would also just be um, I would just advise people to do their due diligence. Sit down, research the market, have your mentor you, live in their shoes for a day. If this is something that you're interested in, you have to do the grunt work. You have to shadow. You have to, like, if you pick whatever you like to do and then at least engulf yourself in 6 months of what does this entail? What does this look like? Is it seasonal? What, like you were mentioning earlier, what licensing will I need? Where will this go? And try and get a baseline of what this will financially do for you. Because my baseline is based off of my hustle. Your
So
baseline will be based off of your hustle. So it's also good to see if you can. There were certain things that I couldn't do, and that when you shadow someone and you're being mentored by them, you also realize your strengths and your weakness. So I would tell anybody, if you're interested in doing anything, live it for 60 days and do not make any substantial financial investments until you do so.
so then let me ask you this: when with you saying that Lily had to put out there, teach each other how to do it and find a trustworthy mentor. So in how do you all, and this is for all three, how do you all find a person or seek after a person that's willing to mentor you, that you would feel as trustworthy. Because let's just be real, everybody's not going to tell you exactly how they got all the way from point A to point B. We all share some things, and we all feel like some things we're not at a place that we at liberty that we want to take and share this. Like, just for instance, somebody may say, well, can I take a look at your books or whatever like that? Like, no, that's not part of where we're going at. We're doing the surface level of what's going on. So how would you all recommend a person to get into, if say if fashion is their thing, or if private sector healthcare is their thing, or if financial is their thing? How do you recommend a person that to find a person that does what they do, or that wants to do it? And you know I'm sorry, I'm not trying to ramble, and I'm not trying to make it more difficult than what it is, but how would you seek that type of person out? Golden.
I would start with licensing. I would start where your um basically where your bread and butter is. So if you need the license, or if you have to get an education in it, I would start there. So let's just say you're doing electrical. I would go to the school and I would talk to the administrators, and they would have alumni that have graduated from that school, that you
Oh
can ask
my.
some questions, or that you can sit there and pick their brains, because this is what they're there for. Also, the community in which you need, where you get your license from. Those people are there to instruct you. Ask them a million and one questions. How many businesses opened in my area? How long is this process? Do you feel that, in this age range, a lot of people are opening these businesses in this age range? How long are they staying open? When do I need to renew my license? How often do I need to renew my license? How much is it to renew my license? Do I have to renew it? These are questions you need to just sit there and ask them, because this is their job.
Do you
And
have to have
norm
other people that's licensed there with it?
and, and
That's
that is correct. That's why I would tell you to go where the licensing, if you go to beautician school, there's a person there that's been teaching 20 years. She's like, oh, well, I've had several graduates. Such and such has this, this page. Go here, and you can just, can I just come by your shop? Can I see what you do? You know, can I rent a booth? Can I do this? Just if you're interested, you need to find out what it entails
hmm
before you invest your money. I tell everybody that. Look at what it entails. Don't just look at, you know, the beforehand, So that's always my advice.
Lily, Nivea.
I feel like Golden basically hit the nail on the head. You do want to seek out those who have the experience in it. As far as me, when I had the opportunity to finish bartending, I got ready to start doing it. I was at a venue and I liked the way that the bartender was working. She also owned the particular space we were at. So I was like, hey, when you have a chance, is it okay for me to or if you need help, is it okay if I come and bartend with you? And she was like, yeah. I was like, you can look at it as like an internship. You don't even have to pay me. I just want to get the experience, because in all things, the more experience you have, the better you get at it. And I did
Absolutely.
that for maybe about a good 3 months. So basically over the summer before I really got classy cocktails going. Um, yeah, seek people out, and then also even before you kind of seek them out, kind of sit back and watch, because you can get an idea of the type of, as far as when we're talking about businesses, the type of business person they are, whether they're kind of shady, whether they're on it, or whether they have a good product or service, but the behind the scenes stuff, the administrative side, where they're kind of lacking. So you have to look at those things too, because it's good to learn from people, whether it be what to do or what not to do.
Lily, you coming from the fashion industry,
Yeah.
baby?
So with fashion, a lot for within the fashion industry, it often starts really personally, with a personal kind of connection. For me, it started really with, well, one, I've always been in fashion, and it's more so because of my mother, because she's like a fashionista. So I kind of subscribed to her because oftentimes when she was styling outfitting, I was always being her only child. The person she always asked, like, how does this look? How does this work? So that's how I learned how colors go, how different garments go, stuff like that. But it became personal for me down the line when I started more so learning more so about myself and how I want to style myself, particularly be within the trans community. Um, and I would say one of the things that really helped me, I was fortunate enough, I would say, for one, do your research into the industry that you're going into. So for me, I had to go from being just a consumer to like, okay, wait, what is it like on the other side, pushing content, pushing fashion, doing this, doing that, which is a completely whole other world. So for one thing, I tell people is like, yes, you might want to turn your hobby into a moneymaker, but understand that it's gonna be quite a nuance because you think you're gonna be just doing the same thing as you were the consumer side. No, you're gonna be actually doing that hard and heavy labor.
Especially when
Um,
you have to do the budgeting and you find out exactly how much the
e-
price of everything is and how
exactly,
much you're gonna have to
exactly.
invest into to get
Like,
started up off the
it's a
ground.
whole different world. But one of the things I do always encourage, especially if you live near a major or urban city, and even certain states, I know one thing that helped me was, here in Chicago, they actually have the city actually offers free business classes that will literally teach you how to do every single thing. And then, luckily, if you go do enough classes, you get this certificate kind of thing, and then you also get access to be able to get different city loans, stuff like that. So really looking to see, because there's a lot of people don't really even realize there's a lot of governmental, local, federal, state programs out there. They are literally looking to push businesses
So do you think,
everywhere.
with that being said, like the Small Business Bureau and different things like that, do
Mhm.
they try to set you up with different people that is for that can help you write the business proposals and different things like that? Is that like an avenue that people should look into, your local small business bureau?
Definitely, definitely, because I'm part of a few business bureaus here and chambers here. You literally meet people from every industry, but they all know how to run a business, and it's all local. Like, what better way to be able to connect with other local business owners, both even starting out or even already there. So you get really a good mix. Like, I was able to meet people who are already like 20, 30 years out, but I'm also meeting people like me who are just starting out. Like, oh, okay, so what are you doing? And then we're just able to share and talk and share ideas, particularly what it's like for us locally.
And
Because
that's like Golden was saying, making sure that it's not going to be a fad. It's here right now. And then a month and a half, 2 months down the road, you done invested this time, effort, and money, and it ain't no good no more.
But one thing I will say is I'm not against what I call fast money, the fads, but understand. But think a lot of people don't understand that that's what it is. Fast money. It's gonna be here and it's gonna be gone. So you can use that, but what's gonna be the next scheme? What's gonna be the next plan?
That long
And I
term
think
goal.
that's kind of one of my fears that people look at social media. You see all these kind of like really fast businesses. I call them pop up businesses, and that's nothing against them. That's kind of new in the new age of business and whatnot. But I think people hold on to like, oh, I could do this, make this money. Like, okay, well, that money is going to be spent because you have to think about it. Business takes money to run. So that's going to go back into the business. You think about just that profit. Okay, well, how are you going to make your next profit?
Mm.
So,
So the next thing I want to touch on too, and I know I'm going to get ready to let y'all go because everybody's had long days. The next thing that I want to talk about is, investing back into your community. I think that's a really big thing, and your community can be your village. And for some people that don't understand what I mean by your village, we all have a covenant, or certain people around us, whether it's family members, whether it's friends, whether you created your own family. You know, what are you doing to help promote or help teach how to do, the generational wealth? I was talking in with someone actually today, and their mother and grandmother passed away or whatever like that, and they didn't like some of the jewelry and stuff. And I was like, well, why don't you turn those into like family heirlooms, and you know passing different jewelry and stuff down like that. And then a good friend of mine was telling me that when their child was born, they took and they invested money into a stock or something to that effect. I got some of it a little fuzzy because I was a little sick at the time, and now their child don't know about it. They don't know, they put it there and left it alone. So when we get to a point that we can sit money aside and don't mess with it, it's like, what is it? Old school is it CODs, or what is the ones that you have to put them in there for a certain amount of years and you can't touch them, and then they
CD.
grow and they
CDs,
mature.
CDs,
See
right?
y'all,
Oh,
see,
there's CDs.
I'm
Yeah.
getting into it. Yeah, so y'all got to work with us, sister. I don't know all the right terminologies, but you know, I think if you are at a point that you can invest into your child's future and even in your own, if you can buy into that, even how many of us, if we would have known Netflix when it was a fledgling company, was going to turn into what it is now, how many of us would have jumped into that boat and did it? You know what I'm saying? We was all thinking Blockbuster's gonna still be around, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Netflix. What about Walmart? Walmart went from working open 10 to 12 hours a day. Now they're a 24-hour commodity. And it's a Walmart damn near like a church on every corner. So what I'm saying, and I'm be quiet, is creating or help the start of that generational wealth that you're passing from one generation to the next, but it has to start somewhere. So how do we as self individuals can invest back into community? Be quiet. Anyone that wants to start?
Well, first, my son's retirement was something I took seriously. I don't want them to have to do what I did. I don't want anyone to have to do what I did in the beginning. It's a very hard life, because we were taught, if you put in the work and you are diligent and you are, steadfast in what you do, you will get fruit from your labor. That's not how money works. It's not how hard you work, it's how smart you work. And it's
Break that
what
down one more time.
it's not how hard you work. Because if that was the case, our grandfathers would have been millionaires. The slaves would have been millionaires. It's not how hard you work. It's the people that are smart enough to say, this is what I want and this is the time frame that I want to get it in. So that's where, my thought pattern came from. And
So
I would
making the
say,
money work for you instead of you working for the money.
well, scared money doesn't make money. And when I uh, my son is my most important commodity out of anything. When I everything's said and done, at the end of the day, I want him to be taken care of to the point where when he's dying, he knew I took care of him to his last breath. And that's my goal. That was my heart. That's my heart's language. So whenever I got money, I looked towards his future. And I went to a banking conference and I'm networking, and they said, "Hey, do you know that Social Security for persons in the 80 to the 90 years is really not going to be a thing. So we're all
Mhm.
paying into Social Security, and that program may or may not be there when we retire.
Mm.
So one, we're putting in years in something that we may not get the fruit from. So then I had to look at my own retirement. And while I was looking at my retirement, of course, I'm looking past me, and I looked at my son's retirement. And somebody said a smirk comment. They said, if I would have put $13,000 into an IRA when I was 13, I'd be a millionaire by the time I retired. I did my due diligence and I looked it up. I researched it. I ran the numbers. They were right. So
So what is the
13,000.
IRA
It's a
for those of
retirement
us that
fund.
don't know? Okay.
It's a tax sheltered retirement fund. Um, And it depends on how you invest your money. It's different markets. I tell everybody to do their due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I invested my money for my son, and I put it in his IRA. I can't touch it. I knew once I did it, that money was going to be gone. It was never going to exist again. But this is something I'm doing for him. Every year I look at it, and it gets bigger than mine. So if instead of buying the savings bonds and putting money in these piggy banks, if you invest in your children, buy them stocks, like you said, even in fledgling companies. Like when I was young, my godmother bought me something called some shares. I not that many in Google. I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted some jewelry. I wanted,
Damn a Google.
those little name plates that had your name with the
Right,
little plastic
right.
in the back. I'm like, what am I doing with this? I want the chain, and you buying me this,
Damn the Google.
Yeah, Google saved my life. So we're just gonna say, you have to make the investments that's not gonna be popular at the time. No one wants you know, I'm working on your portfolio. But when you're our age, you know, here's your portfolio, here's your retirement. The simple fact that I can tell him at graduation, I worked on your retirement, not here's a car.
Mm-hmm.
I that was my goal. And a lot of people need to life insurance, not to say that we want anything to happen, but you don't know what pre-existing conditions your children will have after 21. If you buy it now, I bought into my son's life insurance through a company where I only have to pay I think I only have to pay into it for 21 years. After that, you never have to make another payment, and he has life insurance for the rest of his life. So I stopped paying on it after I make 21 years of payments, and of course I doubled up and tripled up, so that's already paid for. So his life insurance is paid for. I never have to think about it. He never has to think about it. My grandchildren do not have to think about how they're going to bury their father.
Wow.
It's done. And there's companies that offer this all the time. But people have different priorities. I want to make sure that, like I said, when he's dying, I'm gonna be gone. When he's dying, my work that I sweat and the decisions that I made will matter. So you have to sit down and look at your children and say, I want more for you than I had for myself. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
want my grandchildren to worry about anything. So my grandchildren will not have to worry about burying their father because I fixed it.
Gotcha.
And
That's
and
powerful.
if you make someone a commodity and they have value, the system that we live in can't play with them as they do now. So just think about all the um boys of color that are being killed. If they all had life insurance policies, and the life insurance policies covers autopsies, so you don't have to run around, that you release the body to those companies because they owe you money. So they would stop killing our children because they would be worth something to
Yep.
someone other than ourselves, and the GoFundMe thing wouldn't be so prevalent.
Absolutely.
But that's just my view.
I enjoyed that. That was deep. That was some knowledge right there.
Golden, that was powerful. That was absolutely powerful. And the fact that my grandmother actually did the same thing. I mean, she did what she could, but oh my God.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep.
I'm just speechless. Like, wow.
When you make somebody else more important, not a somebody, when you value your own child, which I can't say that mothers don't value their children, because I'm not a mother, so I can't say that. But all I can say is when you take the opportunity to make their lives better because you don't want them to go through the same drama and tragedies that you had to go through, and you sacrificed to make sure. How else can you broken that curse already? Like some people believe that it's a curse that the foundations and different things like that. If it was, you've shattered that. Like is no such thing as that in your willpower. And then it's the positivity. Like you wasn't looking at it as negative. The way that you just described it as it was a positive thing for you. You even if you had to struggle, nobody would never know because the way that you did it from love. And I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative to know you, Miss Nivea. Girl, I know you got something to heat up behind that too, because y'all mothers, y'all finna light me up tonight, baby.
Well, for me, investing in my community is two things. One, because I have not necessarily a platform, but I know people like whenever I see a business and they're minority, whether black, brown, well, black or brown, and it stops right there for me. But anyway, that's another story for another day. If I feel like they're doing a good job and they're doing good business, I go out of my way um to support them and get their name out of there. The second thing when it comes to investing in my community, just like Golden, like when my son was born, he was born in 2003. So like the first thing I did is I went and bought, the little bonds that you buy for the babies. And then as he got older, I started doing other things like he has CDs, he has stocks, and then not only that, Jalen, yeah, I brag on him every once in a while, but like his mom is an accountant, his mom is good with money. So when Jalen got his first little bit of money, Jalen had a budget already. Jalen was putting money to the side. So even with his little odd and end jobs. Jalen would like not work for a period of time for whatever reason, but he never was without money because
Mm-hmm.
he knows how to budget. Like as I mentioned before, like once he went to the Navy, like he has a thrift savings plan, he has an IRA, he has his regular pension that's through the military, but he also has a Roth. And then he's like, Mom, when I get out of this, we need to set up another one. So he's already forward thinking. So when we talk about giving our kids the things we never had, it's not always material. Sometimes it's just information so that they can take that
Knowledge.
information and run with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna say it's all been like rainbows and butterflies because raising him has been like, raising kids is ups and downs. But at different times, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen with this boy. But fast forward, I'm like, he was listening. He was acting like he wasn't listening, but he was listening. He was paying attention. This boy done bought art. Because art appreciates if you get the right artist. So like he
Mm-hmm.
has listened. So now when he's splurging on different things, I feel okay about it because I feel like he's gonna be okay. And then my mom, what I will say, she's one of the most giving people that I know because when her father passed away, her and her siblings got money, but what she did is she took some and then she was like, each one of my grandkids, when they graduate, if they go to college and is successful for a semester or a year, they have a certain amount of money that they're going to get. Or if they finish a trade or apprenticeship, then they'll get the money that way. Or if they don't do either one of those two things, then when they turn 21, they have some money coming to them, right? And so when my niece got hers, she bought her just like I did. She bought her first house. She's only 22 years old, so like they're doing different things. So that's what my mom did. And then with me, like Jalen gets little different things from me when he does different things. He doesn't know that I have like certain things set up for him. Hopefully, he won't watch this video, but like I have different things in place for him because, like I said, you want to give your kids the things you didn't have, but that's not, I'm gonna buy you these Jordans. Like it's not that. It's more than that. So yeah, that's what investing in my community looks like. And oh, one more step beyond that. Like I have friends who I can see, I'm like, let's sit down, let's create it. Like I have 5 or 6 different friends that I've sat down and helped create budgets with. I've helped I walked 2 through bankruptcy only because they were at the point where it was like it's it's a comeback, but it's like let's just watch it. Like it's your right. I know in our community we kind of look down on it, but I know clear people that do it every 8 or 9 years. And you know what I mean? So it's like it's just me giving the information that I have and sharing it. So that's another way that I feel like I'm investing in the community.
Wow, that's strong too. From y'all, I mean, y'all been thinking mother. I tell y'all, mothers are powerful. Y'all been thinking from them babies, like how can I make their situation better than mine? And for y'all to sacrifice and to put different amounts of monies into different things, and it may not pan out the first time, but then you just keep you be steady with it. Like you're saying, that 60 hours is throwing this into that, you throwing that into that. And if every person would take not even huge things, it doesn't always have to be huge amounts. It start small. Wherever you at, meet yourself wherever you at and grow upon that. You ain't out. I don't know a millionaire unless they were born into it. I don't know a billionaire that was born into it that didn't start off at small steps and move themselves and progressively got better at it, because life is full of choices and there's a lot of ups and downs in life. But one thing, and I'm gonna be quiet. Lily have an opportunity. Golden had told me one time, girl, you gotta live. You get one go around. And I had forgot that about myself. You get one go around with this. When it's all said and done, and what they gonna say? You was approved and you just sat there, you ain't do nothing. You was that boring. Like, what do you do? Like that's why I said, outside of money, you have to invest in self. Invest in yourself. Girl, I love me a lasagna. And I got turned on this old nasty lasagna spot, baby. And I feel like I may have to treat somebody to that lasagna tomorrow. And I've been around the world, and now, yeah, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Lily, because I'm finna go.
Well, listen, like I said, Biffy and Golden, listen, they have done a thing. I'm not there with the children, and I know Golden keeps trying to curse me with that. But no, it ain't gonna
Mama
happen.
say na masaka
Girl,
makusaka.
I rebuke you. I was Shabada. Anyway, um, one of the things I really try to do is um really just try to give my time, and I think it was Golden who said that, like, to use discernment when you're trying to figure out who to give your time to. Um, and I say that coming from a place. So I don't know if you all know, this is big influencer called B Scott, but she said something so profound one day. I give freely because my cup runneth over. So as my cup runneth over, like, I'm one of those people. I'll just give time. I'll give whatever because I want to see you succeed, especially within our community, within the Black community. I truly try to push for seeing us succeed. So for me, it's about time support. But not everyone sees it as that or appreciates it either way, which is fine because it's just all about giving. But I'm not giving to receive. I think we said on a few shows back, like, when you give, especially if you give money or something, just give to give. Don't expect something back because there are seeds that are going to go bad, but there are good seeds that are going to blossom and
Mhm.
just become things that are great. So for me, I don't have kids, but if I can see another person who looks like me, who even identifies as me, succeeding, pushing forward, then that's a beautiful thing.
Well, I can say I don't have bio kids, but I do have children. Like, I have a whole umbrella from light brights all the way up to my dark chocolates, and I am content with all of that. Even the ones that don't claim it, child, you still mine. You was given to me, so you still mine. It is what it is. And I know one day that, here pretty soon, I'm gonna have my own little bundle of joy. So it's giving me information that I need to know as a parent, that I want my child to have better than what I'm currently in my situation, which I'm not saying I'm bad off, but why not try to make it better than make it better than what it is currently? You know what I'm saying? So invest. And if I was to say with one, it I have so much right now that I want to go there, and I don't want to go there because we getting later in the hour, and we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna give everybody 5 minutes to have their closing comments because this is really good, and I don't want to be a killjoy with this because y'all have given such profound, not only of your time, but you've given us information, and I'm very appreciative of it. So I want to start first with Nivea giving us, you have the closing, and then as y'all are closing, please make sure y'all are letting them know where they can find y'all at if you would like to share that because this is going on my Spotify also. So Nivea, you do have the floor.
So you can find me at all things Nivea Stan, whether that is IG or on YouTube. One thing I did want to mention and touch on that Golden mentioned was about the insurance policy, not only life insurance policies, but if you have a chance, look into universal life policy, which actually gives you the opportunity to have a policy that grows in a cash value that you can borrow against. And that is another way that you can create that generational wealth or put yourself in a better or more wealthy situation. I also have that video up on my YouTube channel. In all things, money is a tool, so you got to use it wisely. Just like you use a hammer to nail in a nail in the wall, you have to use money the way it was meant to be used to get anywhere in life. I hope this was helpful. And Jazmine, I'm going to give you the rest of my time back.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. If you don't mind, holding please for just 1 second. The one and only Miss Golden, you have the floor.
I just say know oneself. Be very comfortable and very confident. Once you start with confidence, anything else can be done. You need to sit down, plan things out, and my number one is do your due diligence. This is going to be something that is going to be a lifelong process. Make sure one, you love it, two, you understand it, and three, you have a community that will help you with it. Reach out when you need help and ask questions. Do not invest your money until you have a full understanding of what it is and where it is. And that's pretty much what I have to say in reference to, going forward with your career and generational wealth. It If you're invested and you stick to what you're supposed to do and your deadlines and your budgets and you're doing what you're supposed to do, which is investing and also reinvesting in oneself and one's business, you will succeed, and there's really nothing else to it. So I will surrender the rest of my time as well. Have a blessed night.
Girl, y'all missed a render in the time, Jesus. All right, good. Hold on 1 second. Don't you go anywhere because I know you'll sneak off in a heartbeat. Hold on. Lily, do you hear them? Oh, we surrendering our times tonight. Child. Here you go, Lily. You got the flow.
Baby, I'm not yielding time because I got time. I got something to say. But anyways, thank y'all for coming to the Empowerment Conference. Jazmine, thank you so much for hosting this. Like, this was phenomenal. Really, there's nothing like this out there, y'all. So I hope y'all was taking notes. Make sure y'all watch the playbacks. Watch it again and again because you might pick some more notes that you can need. But what I will say is, sweetie, whatever you're thinking about doing, start it now. Start it today. Start it today. It could be as simple as even writing it down. One of the things I always keep handy, honey,
pen and
this
paper.
was where PDS, Pass the Sugar, all started. It's everything that's happening has already been written, honey.
Yeah.
I wrote it down 5 years ago.
Come on.
And it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it like, oh, wait. Oh, I did that already. I didn't even know I did it. So that's all I'm saying. Start today, y'all. Start today. You could catch me on all social media, Facebook, House HUS, HUS PDS. On Twitter and Instagram is PDS_style. That's PDS_STYLE. Website is www.passthesugar.com, and on YouTube, Pass the Sugar TV. We could watch all my latest content. Thank you all for coming in again, Jazmine. Thank you so much for holding this conference.
Anytime, child. Before we leave, let me bring everybody back on here. So I want to personally say in front of each and every one of y'all, I appreciate y'all donating your time and your effort this evening. You know, y'all know when I'm doing these conferences and stuff, I never know how these things gonna go, and I'm appreciative that we all just done rocked and rolled, and I think it was something that was very much needed for our community at large. You know, it was something that I felt like that was thrown together. I feel like that everybody came with different opinions, different views, and you specialize in one thing or the other. To financial situations with Miss Nivea, to entrepreneurship from Lily and from Golden. You know, in different sectors, we have fashion, we have medical. You know, and we also have me. You know, I do like something everything. You know, I don't do everything, but I do look like something. But anyway, Holy Spirit, activate, activate, activate. I'm quit. I ain't gonna get into that one. Um, I appreciate y'all for coming in. And again, if I can leave everybody with one thing, I will leave y'all with this. The most important thing that I hope and pray that every person has taken away from this is investing time and effort into self. Self self love would definitely will be the beginning and the end all situations. If you don't connect with self and learn what self needs, no amount of money, no amount of pleasure, no amount of any of that is going to ever amount to a hill of beans for you because you're always going to be missing that oomph. So make sure you invest into yourself as well, so as others. Your feelings are important. All of that is valid. Last thing, and we're out of here. God only made one you. And it's such a simple phrase, but it's something so serious. God only made one you. Or your entity, whoever you believe in, God only made one you. If you're not you, who the hell else can you be? Remember to keep shining while I'm gone, and I will see y'all tomorrow night on Lily Speaks at 8 p.m. Until then, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we absent one from another. This we ask in Jesus' name. Y'all have an amazing evening. And Royalty, I love you, baby. Good night, y'all. Tell me pretty lies, look me in the